Good morning. It's Andrew O'Donnell from Supercharged Stocks, just here at the Sprott Gold Conference, and I'm pleased and happy to have Dr. Tim Marsh here with us, and he's from BellCopper. How are you?
Fine. How are you, Andrew?
I'm doing well. So I really want to thank you for taking the time. I know you're running around, and you're carrying around a big satchel of rocks from Arizona.
That's right.
But I'm happy that you're giving me the chance to sit down, have a bit of a chat, and talk about Bell, because I know, speaking with Dwayne, he's a great guy, he's got lots of integrity, and he's gotten me interested and curious about the story. So maybe you can kind of touch on Bell just a little bit, just kind of your basic overview. Most of my people will know a little bit, but just from your own kind of words.
Yeah, Bell is a mineral exploration company. We've focused during lean times on a single asset that we regard as our best chance at making a significant discovery. That's in Arizona, the safest jurisdiction we can think of. It's a very productive part of the planet in terms of producing copper. 10% of all the world's copper has come out of Arizona in the past.
Yeah.
There have been some giant discoveries there in the past 20 years, notably Resolution and more recently the Arizona mining lead zinc discovery that I believe is leading down into a large copper deposit.
Mm-hmm.
With more exploration that'll probably come to pass. But Bell has an equally large opportunity to make an exploration discovery, and that's what Bell is all about, taking that one very promising project and trying to make a world-class or globally significant size discovery.
That's great. Yeah, you'd mentioned too, like 10% of the world's copper, which is astounding. I think I'd read somewhere 60% of all of U.S. production, something that just comes from Arizona.
I don't know the statistic, but that sounds about right.
Yeah, which is just phenomenal. And one of the things I remember is one of the graphs, and I'm not, I like graphs from stocks, but just looking at it from a map, is it showed almost like a line between those three major properties you were mentioning, the Resolution on up, and then Caba is pretty much along that line.
That's right.
So even for someone who's a layman, we look and go, oh, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
we're in a safe jurisdiction. Two, we've got a place that has world-class, deposits. Three, we seem to be on some sort of, and I don't want to use, put words in my mouth, but a trend. There seems to be a line, if one looked at the map, there to see, okay, just from a macro view, okay, I see that, I can see that.
Yeah, that line has significance.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. It's a belt of volcanoes, just like the Cascades. You draw a line from Mount Baker down to Mount Lassen or Mount Shasta. That's the line that existed across Arizona 70 million years ago. We're on that line, and
yeah. Okay. So does this come back to that master's thesis? Where was that from 1976?
74.
74. So does this play into that at all? Because I remember reading through the bio. I'm just kind of jumping back a little bit. Is that part of that kind of master's thesis that was speaking of that kind of trend line?
I don't think they addressed that trend
okay.
in there, but it was, all of the deposits other than Resolution were known on that line at the time the thesis was published.
Okay, yeah. So I'll start back too, because we're talking about thesis and whatnot. Maybe you could just tell a little bit about your background, because it's pretty significant as well. And I want people to be aware of the strength of your background as well, specifically with this type of project.
Sure. I've got a Bachelor of Science degree in Geological Engineering from Colorado School of Mines. Been working in mining during the time I was a student and since then. After working at a gold mine for about 5 years in the Mojave Desert, making metal come out of the ground and making sure ore went to the crusher and waste rock went to the dumps every day. I went to Stanford and got a PhD in mineral deposits and exploration, focusing on a porphyry copper deposit down in central Chile.
Yeah. So and part of that was like copper porphyry specifically.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's really your specialization. That's what you're looking for, and that's at the end of the day. If someone says to me, Andrew, well, what are we talking about? You go, you're looking at an expert with a Cabo project that he's got a significant background and specialization in this specific geological formation, and the indicators seem to be there.
Right. The research group at Stanford specialized in porphyries. For field trips, we came to Arizona and kicked around some of these places.
Good, good.
And I did my work down in Chile. I've been inside the guts of several of those big systems, so I know what they look like. And then for the past 23 years, I've been in Arizona exploring for the next one.
Which is great too. That's another thing that Dwayne had mentioned to me too. You're a real boots on the ground geologist, not just academic or a theory type thing. You like to be on the ground kicking rocks, like running around and looking.
Yeah, it's all about the rocks.
Yeah.
The rocks have to be the right rocks, and when I see the right rocks, I've got a lot of time, a lot of energy to spend there, and the field is where the story is.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is no story unless we've got some data and some hard evidence. Now, before we jump into where we are today, which it looks like there's from the information so far, I have some geologist friends who've looked at it. They say, yeah, there's something there. We'd love more data, but from there, just brief look, looks like there's something there. I know you guys are drilling. You guys are looking harder, amassing data, and you've got that big that big suitcase full of rocks. What can you say, or where do you think you're sitting right now?
Well, I think quite clearly we have technical success. We started out with an idea that a major porphyry that was known for a long time, known to a lot of people, it's been drilled for more than 40 years, that porphyry was decapitated by a fault about 15 million years ago probably, and that the more prospective part of that system has been shifted about 9 kilometers to the east and out onto the valley. We've demonstrated that quite well, that we have found the top of that system. We've got a sprinkling of holes into it that are in distal parts of the system, not where you would expect to find the copper.
Yeah.
And we now have a pre-caller into the guts of that system.
Okay.
So the technical success is there, and that's not what Bell is about. Bell is about economic success. So we got to continue to drill until we find that stuff that is easily called ore.
Yeah. I think a good way that Dwayne kind of puts me as an analogy is that a lot of times someone can just, say oil and gas or mining, you can just explore, drill holes, and nothing happened. But this seems to be a case of there's good indication and there's strong data and evidence suggesting that if you don't hit a hole, that is actually, in a way, good news because it's drawing you closer into where the more likelihood there could be something.
Yeah.
So it isn't just a matter of we're just fishing around here. So if someone as a layman looks and goes, well, there's drilling holes. No, it's not the same thing. They know that there's evidence of this here. So if I hit here, it's just telling me to move in closer over here.
That's it.
Okay.
In spite of the fact that porphyry copper deposits are the largest source of several metals, important metals, copper, molybdenum, rhenium, in the world, they're still rather small when you're dealing with tens of square miles that you could blindly stick a hole into. We're not drilling blind. We're using the information from every single drill hole and other lines of evidence, geophysical evidence, to consider when we place the next hole. In the current case, we're also looking carefully at groundwater chemistry.
Okay.
There are a lot of domestic wells in the area. There are our own exploration holes that we've sampled over the past 8 years. Every time we drill a hole, we sample the water and analyze it.
Yeah.
We're now in a place where the water is absolutely toxic.
Yes.
It's very high in
okay.
sulfate, copper, fluorine.
Yeah.
Not anything you want to drink, and the landowner there has indicated that it'll kill his plants if he uses it to water them.
So
they use it for flushing toilets and about nothing else.
That's it. Wow. So it sounds terrible to think of water that way, but that's actually great news.
That's great.
That's
news.
wonderful news as far as mining is concerned.
Yeah, nature has accumulated those metals in one spot, and it's impacting the local groundwater.
So that is good to hear. And of course, you highlighted before, because there's a lot of other bigger companies, there must be comparable data and data that you can look at too. That's not just your own drill holes. There's lots of data.
There are environmental environmental issues at existing mines that have water quite similar to what we're finding nature is capable of producing on its own without a mine. Man doesn't need to be present to make an environmental disaster, or at least what people nowadays consider one. But nature can concentrate metals to the extent that you don't want to drink the water that's flowed through those rocks. That's where we're drilling right now.
Okay, that's great. Now, just to take a bit of a step back too, because I like to clear up issues in the past, because I look at it as being a strength, is if we look at your chart, we see it kind of went up and then it went down, and we've had some issues. You took over in 2012, but you've been involved with Bell since 2007?
2005.
2005.
Yeah.
So if maybe just quickly just kind of highlight, here's what happened up until 2012, because really the story begins 2012, but just so someone looks and goes, here's what happened up until then, and this is where we're at now.
Yeah. So I was a chief geologist at Rio Tinto working on the Resolution discovery. I didn't find it. Some of my buddies at Stanford were integral in that discovery, but I hired on with Rio Tinto and was the chief geologist of that project. When I left in 2005, the time scale for turning that into a mine didn't jive with my career plans. 20 years to put a mine into production wasn't what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And so I joined Bell in 2005. I brought this project as a casserole to the party and said, we need to drill some holes out here. And those first 4 holes that we drilled up 2007 really got the chase started in a serious way. I was vice president exploration for Bell for that period of time, 2009 up through 2005 through 2010, and then took over from previous management in 2012 with the single objective to clean up the company, sell off assets that I didn't see the opportunity to turn into a mine, use the cash to continue drilling at Kaba, preserving Kaba as the company's real treasure.
Yeah. And that's what I like, is that dogged determination, and even like I said, talking to the geologists, is that it's not a matter of just I really want there to be something there. It's that passionately there's something there. It's just a matter of when and funds, and the more funds you're going to find it sooner. But it's just a matter of when, and that's what's drawing me to the story. Not only because there's some data, but also because it's kind of like almost like a movie. The dogged determination to say, we're going to do the right thing. We're going to do the right thing for the shareholders. We're going to do the right thing all along the way, and we know there's something there, and it's a bit of a fight, and you're going over obstacles, going through a major downturn, and still making it happen. And that's one of the things that I like about the story, and you can see the passion with Dwayne as well. It isn't just I hope there's something there. I've seen enough of that with oil and gas, where you see people that they're just kind of drilling around, and you think, what are they up to? There seems to be a definite passion and certainty. It's just a matter of when. Yeah. And so, where are you today? Where are you guys looking for money? Are you you're drilling? Where do you see things? I know there's Dwayne kind of hints that they really think that you've dealt with a lot of issues and you're on the cusp. That's kind of where you're perched kind of here, and I'm a big fan, thinking that the mining sector is overall sitting on a perch, getting ready to go. Where do you guys see yourself right now?
I'm gonna backtrack to persistence and
perfect.
My dogged persistence isn't out of cerebral ankylosis. It stems from my training as a scientist, and that is that if I get one piece of data that doesn't fit the story, condemns it in a significant way, I'm the first guy to walk away from it. Yeah. And that's not what's happened at Kaba. With Kaba, each additional significant piece of evidence has provided us a place to go, and recently those places have been returning good drill results from a technical standpoint. Yeah. Nobody that's a casual investor is going to look at assays and say, hey, the guys are there, the guys are getting close. Yeah. You really have to be a exploration geologist to appreciate what's in our holes. Yeah. But nothing about what I'm seeing is discouraging. In fact, it's just the opposite. It's what gets me up every day and keeps me focused on Kaba. We're doing the right thing in the right place, and persistence will pay off. I'm confident of that. where are we now? We've had a rough go over the past few months trying to raise money. The market's been tough. We've had every major in the business up there looking at Kava. Some of them have looked multiple times. So the biggest mining companies in the world, they know this project. They've seen the core. They've seen some of the core or all of the core. One very large company has been out there 4 times. So each time we drill a hole or a batch of holes, they get somebody back out to have a look and see how things are coming. So we've got a lot of attention on what we're doing. We really don't have the funding to do what needs to be done and keep the drills turning. We get a hole drilled, run out of funds, the drill goes away, and then we fight and scratch to get the treasury back up to where we can get holes drilled. We're doing that not because we've also got a lot of money flowing out to maintain a nice office and pay for a lot of corporate services. We're absolutely being very frugal with funds. I'm not taking money out of the company routinely. Sometimes I've got issues that have to be solved back at home. My kid needs braces and she's getting teased at school, and that's hard to take when dad's not taking a paycheck. Somebody's getting stuff for free, and I'm taking it in the short. So that's Bell. Old Duano's driving his car on 3 real tires and a donut, trying to keep the thing going. We're both driving real old cars, so we're not taking funds from mom and pop investors. And using those to make our lives comfortable. We're putting those dollars in the ground. We demonstrated that again just recently with the K20 hole. Got out with very slim funds and got that pre-collar in the ground and behind steel, so we're ready to go out core drilling as soon as funds are
there.
That's right.
And that's what's exciting too, is that it's not a place in northern BC where you raise some funds, wait 6 months, go drill for 3 or 4, then you've got down season. Is this, you can get some funds and boom, you're at it.
That's it.
And that's also exciting too, is that you look at the financials, which I've looked at the financials, it is, you guys are, there's no waste, there's no wasted capital being flown out in any way, shape or form, which is really optimistic too. So it is, to me, it looks like a story of, it'll almost be a shame you put in the amount of work in, some big comes over and offers too little for what's actually there. And you either have to say no because it's just not the right play, is that it's a great opportunity for the right investor to say, I think I'm with you. Someone who's passionate, who believes in it, and says, why would I give away something? If there's an opportunity here, I get all this back data, all of this hard work up until today, and I can pick up the share for a steal and take a chance on Bell. There's quite an opportunity there for a retail investor to say, "Ooh, you guys have done a lot of work already. You got interest from other people. I can come in today with all of that already done and take a swing at this." It's a pretty nice opportunity for a lot of people to come in to look at.
There's $10 million of exploration risk that's
Already done.
That's been removed, and we've had the due diligence reviews of several major copper explorers who said, "Hey, this is a very interesting project." Rio Tinto went so far as to take an option and spend about $3.5 million on it. They had a very shallow target they were interested in. Supergene enrichment blanket right at the base of oxidation, and they certainly didn't eliminate that target. I think it's still there. They didn't drill the place I recommended for.
See, that's got to be frustrating. I think Dwayne told me too, you're the kind of the expert there who's been there for a long time. You're saying, no, guys, come on, hear me out, go here or go deeper, and they were persistent to not.
Well, they had a very clear concept in mind. They need a tier 1 asset that's going to feed the second biggest miner in the world for 20 or 30 or more years, and they felt that they had eliminated that. In fact, they drilled a horseshoe pattern, and the target that I'm currently drilling in with K20 is internal to the horseshoe that they left me.
Okay, good. Okay, so I think just to wrap up, because I know you've got another meeting as well. I see there's definitely a story here. There's definitely some interest here from some of the people that I know. Tell me kind of just to wrap it up, top 3 reasons why Bell. What do you see as the big opportunity here for, and more of a retail investor? I like to deal more. I have institutional investors, but this I think it's more of a good private equity type of person who would say, hey, I like what I hear. I encourage people to say, take that data, take it to your broker, take it to a geologist, take it to someone. They'll be able to tell you. They'll confirm what he's saying. That's your best bet because, like you said, even someone who kind of knows a little bit about rocks, they're not going to really see what's there. It needs to be someone who's got more professional standing. I encourage people to go do that, to say, listen, take the information, show someone. That not only gets the story out, but it confirms to people that yes, there's something here. It isn't just dreams and whispers and whatnot. So maybe you just kind of tell me what your top 3 reasons would be.
Sure, I'm gonna give you one big one,
yeah.
and that is a lot of miners, exploration people will have a vein or a deposit and they'll drill it and dream for a long time about what's the mother lode look like, what's underneath this thing feeding it.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting from that answer.
Yeah,
we have the root zone, and the root zone is the most spectacularly altered and mineralized patch of ground I've ever walked across. It's a huge target. It's comparable to the biggest porphyry copper deposits in the world. It's intensely veined, lots of molybdenum on the surface, and it kept the majors drilling there again and again for probably 40 years. There's 50 holes into it, but what they didn't know back then, that Bell knows, is that they were drilling the bottom of the deposit. They were underneath where the copper should fall out. They should have been drilling up, and that piece that was up is now out underneath Bell's property package. We know what our system looks like. We know how big it is. We know its shape. We know its orientation. We have all those answers.
Yeah.
We just don't know yet where it is.
Yeah.
Once we find the center of that intense altered and veined patch, the drill holes that follow will be similarly successful. If the grade isn't there, it's not there. Nothing I can do about that.
No. Yeah.
But if we find that there's a well mineralized system, good grade material, we'll be drilling holes in quick succession, proving up a very large deposit. And that's the biggest encouragement I have. I call that patch of ground church. Okay. When I go up there, I can make a believer out of anybody. Yeah. That it's worth pursuing. It's worth investing in. Yeah. That it is something big that matters to the biggest mining companies in the world. Yeah. They need it. They need the sorts of targets that Bell is chasing. And if we find it, they'll be paying top dollar to get it. Yeah. And that's really what Bell is doing. We're people with integrity. Mm-hmm. We manage money that hardworking people give us as investments. Yep. We manage it well. We try to get it into the ground. That's the best place for it. And try to do it in the fastest time possible. That's been tough lately, but yeah. When we get the dough, it goes into the ground pretty quick.
Perfect. Well, that's great. I look forward to following this some more, and certainly writing you guys up and seeing what can be done. But I like the story. It's been an honor to talk to you because it helps to clarify in my mind too some of the information that I've been sorting through, and it does sound very exciting. So I want to thank you for taking your time and diverting from your meeting to meet with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day, and thanks so much, Dr. Marsh.
Thank you, Andrew.